In this video, I'm going to answer more of your questions. Okay, this is another good one. Skate through your hips and also get your hips under you. What does this mean? Let's take a look. So skate through your hips and get your hips underneath you are essentially meaning the same thing, and that means instead of being in this position and trying to skate like that, you want to have your hips here. Underneath you is generally referring to underneath the weight of your head, your shoulders, and in line with your knees and ankles. So you're in this position and your weight is firmly underneath you as you try and move around. If you have your hips back, you've thrown your weight forwards. So now let's think about it. You're trying to get speed and power when you skate, but I can't get the same power into the ice because I'm not using all of my weight through my pushing foot. I'm not balanced over my feet. By putting my hips back, I've thrown my weight forwards, and now I can't skate as efficiently, and there's more chance of catching toes. I can't get as much speed. I can't do anything as well. So when we think of the term skating through our hips, getting our hips under us like this, it allows you to get more pressure into the ice. I'm here, and if you look at my ankle and my knee, I can press really hard into the ice like this and grip good. The second I break this line like that, now I can't press as hard. I don't have the same balance over my feet, and it's shuffling my weight further forwards towards the ball of my feet. If I push my hips here, the weight's more on the back of the blade, which is where I'd want to be if I was skating forwards. But like this, I'm too much forwards and I feel like I'm gonna fall. So by getting the hips in line with everything, it allows you to really skate and drive through the ice, get more speed, be in better balance, reduce the chance of falling down, and numerous other benefits. Have more, better, faster snap. Okay, so with this one, I'm gonna assume that it is with jumping. Generally, could be for something else, but what they are referring to, in my opinion, is if you jump and you're going into your rotation position, perhaps you're just doing this, and that's the speed you're getting into your rotation, and your coach is saying, I want it like this, like from here, fast as you can, as sharp as you can. It generally means be more explosive. You have to be in one position and then you're in the second position. You don't hit the first position and then we get to the second position. You have to do it like that. That is what the coaches were referring to, in my opinion. To use another example, let's say a bracket. I don't know why I'm loving brackets today, but we're doing brackets for the examples. If I'm going into it and I say to someone, more snap on the bracket, it means there's your first position and second position. Whereas if they go into it and they have position 1 and they go for position 2 and they go and then get there eventually, well, the time it took them to shuffle into the position, a lot of things have gone wrong. They've changed edge, they've got stuck, they can't get around the corner now. So I'd say has to snap from position 1 and 2. Next question. Make your circle big while doing forward crossovers. Okay, so when you skate on the ice, everything is done in circles. So you have to think of it as semicircles or full circles. You generally skate on one circle, change to another circle, no matter what you're doing. And it is a mistake generally to cut the circle. Why is it a mistake? Because the amplitude of your skating goes down. Sometimes you will now do a flat edge, or you'll incorrectly cut the momentum and you can't do a move as well. So if you're doing crossovers and as you step, you're cutting into the circle like this and you're not getting much amplitude to it and you're just pottering in a little circle, the coach is going to say go on a bigger circle, and what they want you to do is stay on the circle you're skating without cutting in. If you keep cutting in, it's going to go too tight. Now, don't get this confused with deep edges. If you want to do deep edges correctly, efficiently, and look like you're filling the ice and hammering around on nice edges, you have to make sure you skate out and then get the lean and the weight over to bring the edge round. Even if you get to a corner here, you would skate and hit a deep edge to get around it. You wouldn't get there and cut generally. So this is what they mean by you want to go out on a big circle. This is how you skate. So to use another example of, let's go with the bracket. I love brackets. I don't know why I'm weird, but let's go with that as an example. If I'm skating into it and I cut the entrance, I push and I go this way too soon, I now know that as I turn, I don't really have anywhere to go. I've already I've already cut my entrance edge, so the chances are you're going quite flat on the entrance edge, whereas if I skated up in big amplitude and then came around, I know that I haven't cut the circle, so I can fully finish off my entrance and I don't need to change of edge to get it to come out the correct way afterwards. Whereas if I'd cut it at the beginning, it's going to be a bit flat coming out and then I'm going to struggle to get back afterwards. Crossing my feet for a double, when and how. I hear the words, but shrug, shrug, another shrug. So crossing your feet for a double. Now, if you are doing a jump and you are doing it with your feet together parallel like this, you're not doing it very efficiently. You're going to struggle to generate as much rotation and you're going to find landing it is much harder because you're going to be stuck like this. Whereas if you're crossed and this way, you're going to find it easier to land because you'll be in that checked position that we talked about before on the landing, making it much easier. On top of that, you'll find it easier to land on one foot. If you have the feet side by side like this, it's going to be much harder to land on one foot because you'll be stuck there. So as for the how, if you are rotating anti-clockwise, you're going to be crossed with the left foot over your right foot like so. And your body's going to be rotated to face the right. You're going to have your arms crossed as well, and you're going to be in this position. Now, in terms of when, well, that depends on the jump. Are you doing an axle, a salco, a toe that generally have slightly similar ways of doing it, or you're doing a loop, flip, and lutz that also have similar ways to each other. So it really depends, but we have tutorials covering all the base jumps up on our YouTube channel, and in it you can learn exactly the techniques of how you go into the jumps like this and you cross and you get into position. You can learn all that in the basic videos covering waltz jump, salco, toe loop, loop flip, and lutz, and even axle. Oh, it doesn't smell too good, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, pressure in your stomach. Doesn't sound too pleasant. Tighten your core. I grouped these together because I think basically they're referring to the same thing. Let's take a look. So I'm not sure what they're referring to with pressure in the stomach. I don't know who says that, but I think it does mean the same as tighten your core. And what tighten your core means is you use your stomach muscles to be strong here. And if you're strong there, everything you do is more controlled and you have a better chance of being able to do what you're trying to do on the ice. If you relax all of the muscles in the core, so you're like this, you imagine you go to start your crossovers, I'm completely relaxed here, and I'm gonna move like that. I do a 3-turn and everything is swinging everywhere. And just the fact of tightening up the muscles, so lifting up everything here and bracing this very strong, allows you to skate much better for what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to, do 3 turns, I'm strong here and strong here. If I'm doing forward skating, everything here is lifted and strong, and I can skate onto everything, and I know I'm very solid here. The second you make this middle column weak and relaxed, and like this, suddenly arms are flailing everywhere, the hip position's out, you're skating like this, you have no control to do anything, and you're making life much harder for yourself. So developing a good strong core and getting used to engaging it makes everything you're doing on the ice. If you try and do a jump, for example, and I'm here, I'm gonna go in for a loop, but I'm relaxed. The second I take off, I'm gonna be rotating in the air like this, and it's not very efficient to snap like this. So if I was strong in the core here and I go for it, everything's tight and contracted and strong, it's gonna make it much better. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video answering your questions. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, let us know what you think below. And if there's a question you would like answered in the next Q&A video, leave us a comment, let us know what it is, and we'll answer it in the next one. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed the Q&As, you want to get even more help with your skating, more tutorial videos, check out our Patreon page. There's loads of content there and a great community.